Hello, 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 YouTube. How's everybody doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to our final episode of Real Talk Therapy for the week. We're doing Monday through Friday, and we've had a pretty jam-packed week talking about basic mental health disorders and how they can relate to cartoon characters, and specifically to Winnie the Pooh and Friends. And I think we kind of touched a lot in that, and we're going to come back to revisit it so that each mental health disorder has its own session where we talk specifically just about it and not kind of get into the different things that we pointed out earlier. But I also wanted to thank you guys for bearing with me for the video from Wednesday, I think it was, that was, I don't know what I did. Was trying to show you guys my shirt and my bag, and somehow the whole video was lopsided. But in being real, I'm being as real and as transparent as I can be. I'm learning YouTube, and I want to learn it and get it and do it. And so if you guys have some suggestions, it can help, that's cool. But in the meantime, if it was too much for you to try to watch it upside down, I hope you at least listen to it, because it was some pretty good information in there. So, of course, on Fridays, we start preparing for wind down and self-care. And my shirt today says, hope you guys can see it, mentally, I can't breathe. And we know during the pandemic and past years, we had a lot of different things going on in the world, and there was, some deaths and a whole lot of stuff that I'm just not going to get into on this channel. But we know that physically, when you can't breathe, you end up dying. And so mentally, if you can't breathe, it can be so suffocating. Your thoughts can drown you. Your feelings, your emotions can take you to a place of having symptoms of anxiety to where you truly end up in situations where you cannot breathe. And so we want to make sure that in our mental health, or in taking care of our mental health, and for you guys to see how vital it is and having these conversations, we're going to talk about healing today. So I'm going to try to show y'all my my bag. So this is my bag for today. Coach, of course, that matches my shirt. And when I sit down, I think you'll be able to see my shoes. If not, they're the same shoes that I had on yesterday, the New Balance, that match. And so, just in case somebody missed yesterday or had a chance to see it. So, little trusty New Balance. I love to match. Accessories and matching is a big deal to me. From a little girl to an adult, I love to match. But at any rate, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So today, I want to talk to you all about healing, and what it looks like to heal mentally. So as children, when we're growing up, if we got a boo-boo, a scrape, a scratch, if we got hurt, we know that if it wasn't something major, if you didn't break a bone or, had a cut that a Band-Aid couldn't cover, then your parents told you to go get a Band-Aid, go get some alcohol or God, what's that other stuff? Y'all know what I'm talking about. It is similar to alcohol, that you would put on the sore or whatever and then cover it up with a Band-Aid. And then later on in life, Neosporin came on the scene. And then it was, put Neosporin on it or put some Vaseline on it, but cover it up with a Band-Aid. Well, it wasn't until we began to get older, or at least for me, that I learned from going to the doctor that some wounds have to be uncovered to heal. And I'm going to say that again. Some wounds will not heal properly by just putting a Band-Aid on it. And we're going to talk about a Band-Aid in the physical sense and in the mental sense of it. So physically, if you had a sore and if you kept it covered up, it couldn't breathe, your skin couldn't close back up, that area, it would stay infected or whatever would go on with it for a long time because you're slapping a Band-Aid on it because that's what you had always been told to do. But wounds need air to breathe. They need to be exposed in order to breathe. They do not need to be covered up. And so when we're dealing with our mental health, when we're dealing with what's going on in our mind, when we're dealing with our issues or our troubles in everyday life, we don't need to cover those things up. They don't need to go under the rug. We have to be able to expose what's going on with us in the proper setting to the proper individuals in order to begin our healing process. And that's going to be different for everybody. No two people will heal the same. There is no one remedy that works for everybody. Just like that Band-Aid and Neosporin doesn't work for every sore that you get. I remember being in high school, or it might have been middle school, when it was kind of a phase, and I can't even remember what rapper or singer. For some reason, I'm thinking about TLC, and maybe it was Left Eye, that had a Band-Aid on her. And then I have some pictures, from middle school where I just have on Band-Aids. There's nothing wrong with me, but we just put them on because it was the fashion. Made no sense then, makes no sense now. But because, we didn't know any better and it was a trend, and back then you didn't know that being a trendsetter was the thing to do, instead of following a trend, we all just kind of jumped on the bandwagon again. And like I said, sometimes you jump on here, and once you realize what's going on this bandwagon, you jump off. But if we continue to cover up our mental issues, those things that are on the inside, those emotions that we hold on to, they're going to come out in the form of sickness, physical sicknesses. We will worry ourselves sick, literally. Stress will kill you. And I remember having a primary care physician at one time that told me, when I found out about having high blood pressure, when I was working on one of these jobs, that I talk about, I was so stressed out behind that job that I ended up with hypertension. And I remember saying, I'm too young to have high blood pressure. I'm too young to go through this, but my head would be hurting. It wouldn't stop. I was just going through all these different things, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. Hair falling out, all of this kind of stuff. And it was because I'm stressed on this particular job. And I didn't know how to manage stress. I didn't even know how to talk about it and realize that I was stressed. So that's one of the biggest things that I want you guys to get from this channel and to get from these conversations with me, is that when we don't know how to take care of ourselves, we need to find out how to take care of ourselves and where we need to go and what we need to do. And so in the process of healing, a lot of people are not able to go and get the proper help that they need because over the years, things have happened to them to the point where they have developed low self-esteem. And low self-esteem can come from a genre of some of these mental health disorders that we talked about. And one of the major ones is the social anxiety that we talked about, major depressive disorders that we talked about, bipolar. If there's an intellectual disability and you feel like people are going to tease you if you go out or whatever, and borderline intellectual functioning, persistent depressive disorder. All of those things come with developing low self-esteem. And there were times where I can speak freely and say in my life that, I felt confident in almost everything. I used to even feel confident in stuff that I didn't even know, and if I felt like nobody was going to check me on it, then I'd continue to be confidently wrong. And some people are like that today. And it's okay to have confidence, but at least be confidently correct in what you're having this confidence in, because when somebody goes to check you, it could be, it could be very hard for you to accept when you know you're wrong, but you don't even want to accept somebody telling you, hey, nah, that ain't what that is. And that's okay. And like I said, I struggle with that. That was me. And I'm still working with that. Now, I'm going to ask the questions because I want to know how you know too. Not saying that you don't know. I just want to know where you got it from and how you know. Because like I said, I got the study of Winnie the Pooh and the characters from the internet, but who says the internet is correct? So that's why you always have to consider your source, and that's why you always have to cite your source. Always say where you're getting something from, because what a lot of people will do is hear something and then go try to tell somebody else, and you done got it all wrong. Or either you're Messy Mary or Messy Marvin, and you in the mix of something that you ain't got no business in, and you already wrong, and then when somebody try to check you, you feeling some kind of way. Mind your business. It's not hard. And definitely mind the business that pays you. But low self-esteem is the inability to accept compliments. You know, you start feeling so worn down and feeling so bad about yourself that when somebody tells you something good about yourself, it's hard for you to accept it because you've already developed in your mind that, you know, I don't like this particular thing about me. You make self-disparaging remarks about yourself. You'll say you're unattractive, you're worthless, you know, you're a burden to people, you're unimportant, and you end up taking blame easily. Now, that's a major one because a lot of times when we start doing that, we don't even realize that we're doing it. So something's going on and it may be going on around you and people may blame you for something. But if you didn't do it, you need to be able to open your mouth and say, you know, no, that's not what I did, or no, that's not what I said, or no, that's not what I meant. But if you don't speak up for yourself, people take your silence to mean consent. So if you don't say nothing, then whatever I said you did or whatever I said you said is what you did. And when people, you know, when you do it to people, you got to be willing to, when somebody's going to tell you, no, that's not it. That's not what I was saying. That's not how it was going. You got to be able to say, all right, you know, I get it. And thank you, you know, ask for clarity. And sometimes clarity ain't going to feel good. It ain't going to sound good. It ain't even going to be what you want. And you're going to want to put on a Band-Aid because you want to be able to accept the, you know, the criticism or the whatever it may be. Stop it. Band-Aids are temporary fixes and they will not heal anything. I don't care if, I don't even know who make Band-Aids. Johnson, I don't know. The Band-Aid company can put whatever they want in a Band-Aid and it's still not going to heal your wound. That wound needs to be cleaned. It needs air. It needs to be tended to. It needs attention. It needs time. It needs all of these things to heal and not just a Band-Aid. When you suffer with low self-esteem, you have difficulty in saying no to others, and you don't want to be not liked by people. You know, one of the things I used to live by, well, I still live by, but I used to say it a lot, is that I don't live to be liked. Because if I lived to be liked, I would have died a long time ago. You cannot live for people out here to like you. Half of these people out here don't like themselves, and that's what I'm here for. You got to get to a place where you like yourself. I want you to love yourself, but you got to start with liking yourself. You have the inability to identify positive characteristics about yourself. You lack any goals for life or setting any goals for your life, and you fear the rejection of others. Let me tell you something. It's going to be people in all walks of life who are going to, you know, agree with you, disagree with you, like you, not like you, love you, not care for you. All of that is going to happen if you live long enough. Think about growing up and think about the friends you had in elementary school, middle school, and in high school. And then from high school, if you still have some of those friends, and shout out to my bestie, my best friend has been my best friend since kindergarten. We have been in each other's lives since Miss Tilson kindergarten class at North Laurinburg Elementary School. Well, it was North Laurinburg Primary back then, but we are still best friends to this day. And that says a lot for all the friends and all the interactions that I've had in my 46 years of living, that there's at least one person that I've always been friends with. And if we fell out with one another, we worked it out with one another. He don't like everything that I say and do. I don't like everything that he say and do. And then he'll probably look at this video and make a comment and have something to say and do about it. But that's fine too. He's still my bestie. And I love him with all my heart. So, you know, you have to be able to look at where you transitioned from and where you are. And the reason why you're not still friends with some of these people is that we outgrow one another. It doesn't mean that I dislike you or I don't care about you or none of that stuff. It's just we've reached that plateau of how and where we were supposed to be in each other's lives, and then it's okay to go the other way. It might not feel good, but it's okay to go the other way. About 2 weeks ago, I was having a conversation with my husband about friendships and about things, and I was like, you know what? Some of these people that say I'm their friend, they want me to do things on their terms. But what about if I want to do something a different way? You know, it always has to be when they're available, when things are okay in their lives, and then they can take a break. So now I gotta adjust to them. It's never any consideration for, hey, you know, what's going on with you? What would you like to do? Where would you like to go? I don't ever get that, ever. And I accommodate whomever and whatever. But the minute I stopped accommodating, I'm telling y'all, like I said yesterday, the minute my phone stopped ringing, I stopped getting a text or whatever, and that's fine because I didn't need those attachments anyway. Sometimes you get detached from things or you're attached to things that you need to be detached from. And so situations and things will help you in that process of detaching. So as you go into your weekend and you go into your self-care, I want to encourage you to stop covering up what you are struggling with emotional Band-Aids. It's time to tear them off. And when you put on a Band-Aid and you done had it on for so long, y'all ever had on a Band-Aid, and when you take it off, some of that sticky stuff still on your skin and it hurt when you take it off and all of that stuff. So if it's gonna hurt you when you take it off, how is it gonna heal you? You know, you have to go ahead and face that stuff head on. If not, it's going to be something else that you're going to put on the rug, something else that eventually you're going to have to pull it out and deal with. And so why not learn how to deal with those things now? And I'm sorry, let me go back where I was. So we talked about the characteristics of low self-esteem. So I want to share with you just a few things that you can do over the weekend or try to do, you know, or to begin doing. First of all, elevate your self-esteem. Look in the mirror and say whatever you feel like saying to yourself. If you feel like a baddie, a hottie, or men, if you feel like you the best looking thing, look in the mirror and say that to yourself. You don't have to wait for somebody to compliment you. Compliment yourself. Develop a consistent positive self-image. Be grateful for first of all, being here, because some people just aren't here. If you made it to another day, that's positive enough, or at least it should be. Demonstrate that through pride in your appearance. Be more assertive with what you want to do. Identify your positive traits when other people compliment you. Thank you, appreciate that, and go on. Establish a sense of self-worth, confidence, and competence, and interact socially without undue stress or without, worrying about, is this person gonna be mad if I don't go to their housewarming, or is this person gonna be mad if I don't go to church with them? It doesn't matter. If you don't want to do that and you would rather do something else with the individual, speak up and say so. Hey, I'd still like to hang out with you, but I just don't want to go to church with you, or I don't want to come to your house. Whatever it is, be able to open up and speak up about it, because holding it in will cause you to have undue stress. And that's what we're talking about. your head hurting, your chest hurting, you're out here, your stomach hurting, you can't function because you don't know how to tell somebody you don't want to do something. That's not healthy. And the people who are your cheerleaders, your real people, they'll understand and they'll wait and they'll compromise, and then you can find some common ground and something that you guys can agree on doing together. Those are your real people. If somebody get mad with you because you don't want to do something that they want to do when they want to do it, the way that they want to do it, that's a fan, because they want you to operate the way they want you to operate. Cut it loose. You don't need it. Let it go. And then learn to do some things, by yourself. I have some games that I play on my iPad that I can sit in the bed, watch all that. Look at YouTube. Subscribe. get a page on YouTube. And come look at me every day. Find something to do. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube too that y'all can look at. You have to have some type of interest. And so I don't want it to be where, mentally you find yourself not able to breathe. We gotta be able to find those outlets and be able to breathe. You want, like I said, you want those wounds to be healed. So you have to do your part in healing them and stop slapping Band-Aids over stuff, because all they do is make it worse. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in another week on Real Talk Therapy. I really appreciate all of you that have subscribed. Some of you didn't even have YouTube accounts. And for those of you who literally went out and created a YouTube account, I really appreciate it so much. Remember, coming soon, we'll have a link where you can order any of the shirts that you see me wear, or if you want a custom made shirt with something that you want on there, just let me know the colors and different things that you would like for your custom made shirt. Also, y'all, I'm real serious about somebody sharing this with Coach. And I'm real serious too about somebody sharing this with Lil Wayne, Lil Tucci. So, because I really would love to have a conversation with him about a lot of these songs that I listen to and that get me through, some of the things. And I will share another song with you guys. So he has one that says "Let It All Work Out." And I can't remember which album it's from, but you can go on Apple Music or Google it, Lil Wayne, "Let It All Work Out," and just listen to the lyrics. Because sometimes we get so worked up with trying to work things out that we don't just stop and let it work itself out. Because a lot of times we end up getting in the way of the healing process because we won't let it work itself out. We won't let these wounds heal naturally the way that they're supposed to. So again, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And take care of yourself this weekend, and see you guys next week.